Holy Cross College Media Day here at Notre Dame, Indiana. Paul Condry with Tom Robbins, the new women's coach here at Holy Cross. Well, first of all, I guess the big picture for you is coming in brand spanking new, not have to worry about who was and who wasn't. So let's just talk about what allured you to the job here at Notre Dame, Indiana, and being a part of the Holy Cross College athletic program.
Well, I was previously at Ancilla College, and we played Holy Cross in the preseason every year. So I had an opportunity to see the facilities, and I was able to know a little bit about the program coming in. So certainly its affiliation with Notre Dame was a highlight, and the history of the program, it's still fairly new and has a lot of open ground to work.
Well, give us an idea as you look at where the program is right now. Have some holes to fill in regards to player personnel. A couple all-conference players, some of the school's best players of all time, have now just departed the program, which may be a challenge in regards to some of the student athletes that you have on your team because they're used to those kids being there. So, but for you, it's a fresh start. So let's just kind of talk about how camp has gone thus far, how everybody's playing. It's not a big roster, only 10 gals on the team. So just share how things are going here in the first few weeks.
It's going well. We are a little light on the team. We would like to carry 12 to 14, but with the coaching change and the layover in the situation, we have 10 players, and they're a good 10. They're a solid 10. So camp has been going really, really well. The biggest issue with 10 is having ability to go 5-on-5. So injuries and that sort of thing are going to hold you back, and we've been free of any of that. So that's been the biggest positive in camp, I could say. And then everyone's ready, for the change. They're setting themselves up, trying to show the best that they have, showing the coaches what they could be this year. And I think we have some returners that were really eager to take hold of the reins, so to speak. The group last year, the three girls that graduated, were heavy in the stats. I mean, they really dominated everything for the program last year and broke a lot of records in the program. But the girls that were behind them are ready to take hold of that situation and do their own thing.
One of the key components returning has to be assistant coach Adam Dobzakowski, who was really kind of kept everybody together in the interim as you were able to come on board. And Dobbs, of course, who's a Holy Cross kid, he gets it. Let's just talk about having someone who's really kind of like the concrete over the course of the last 6 to 8 months.
Yeah, absolutely. He was huge for the program. There was a couple months, 2.5 months, I'd say, where there was no head coach, and there was also some recruiting that needed to be done. We didn't have all 10 at that point, so there were players to be signed that had committed, so he had to keep them, and then he picked up a couple kids in that time, and then kept people from leaving. I think it was huge for the program. He did such a great job in that time period, in that interim period, and I've had a lot of assistants in the past and at different programs, and I'm not sure. I know of very many people that could have done what he did to hold a situation together the way he did. It means a lot to the program, and certainly has helped me hit the ground running going forward. He's been very insightful about what we have and where we can go and what the players are and the background for the program and his involvement with that. So he's been a huge asset for us and something that's giving us the stability that we're going to need.
Talk about stability. You have some in the post with Kaylin Barlow, the big 6'3" gal. She's if she can keep her footwork getting better and if she can stay out of foul trouble, she'll be a force to be reckoned with in the Chicagoland Collegiate Athletic Conference. Let's start with Kaylin and talk about some of the other key components as we look ahead to the 2019-20 season.
Absolutely. And Kaylin opened up with a scrimmage the other night against Ancilla College. They came in for a preseason scrimmage, and she had 15 points and 18 rebounds. So really is going to assert herself inside. The biggest issue we've had so far is just getting her to take shots. She's been so used to passing the ball back out once she got rebounds and that sort of thing, and we want her to take more shots inside, and trying to get her to do that because she is such an unselfish person has been a challenge, but she's really starting to take that role. So we're really looking forward to seeing what she can do her senior year. Great leadership. And then we're pairing her with a sophomore that we've brought in, a transfer, Sarah White, and that's a credit to Coach Dobbs. He was the one that got her in before I was hired here at Holy Cross, and she was the last addition to the team. 6'1", nice athleticism, good strong body, somebody that can get some good rebounds. And she had some foul trouble the other night, but still was able to come out with 8 points, 8 rebounds. So she's going to be a nice pairing with Kaylin as well inside.
Sturkowitz, Taylor Nittler, a couple other gals who will meet today here on Media Day. Those gals certainly are going to have great seasons if you're going to have a chance to contend for the CCAC crown. Absolutely,
and both of them are off to a great start in terms of the preseason practices. 2 really good shooters, very hard workers. They're 2 of the people that I was referring to that were eager to take the reins of the program and make the most of their senior year. And you see people coming in, see players coming into their senior year, and you can always have a couple different approaches. And it was clear from the outset they want to take hold of this thing and really go out with a bang. So we're very excited about them as 2 of our guards, and we're going to be relying on them very heavily. Shooting, certainly. Defense has been tremendous from both of them. They've got the speed to do what we want to do. So we're very excited about the possibilities for them this year.
Our special guest, Tom Robbins, the head coach of Holy Cross College, the women's team. Tom, looking up and down the roster with only 10 gals on paper ready to go, we've talked about 3. Who else is going to have to step up and make big plays for you?
Well, I certainly believe Ariel Thatcher is going to need to do a lot this year. She had a pretty big fourth quarter for us against Ancilla the other night, kind of showing some things that she's going to do. She came in as a highly rated freshman last year for Holy Cross. I knew about her at the previous college I was at, but she just has an ability to take over a game and get her own shot in situations that you need that. And we don't have a lot of that on our roster. We have some very good shooters and, of course, the post play inside, but to just break down a defense, we don't have a lot of that. And Ariel certainly is one of those. So we're going to need big play from her this year. And then her, the other point guard we have, Jada Miller, is freshman, is going to be getting a lot of time at that position as well from Mishawaka. So we're going to be looking at those 2 at the point guard positions as being big for us.
Well, it's your first rodeo in regards to going through the Chicagoland Collegiate Athletic Conference. Normally I'd ask you about what do you think your chances are about the league, but since you're the first time around, we'll wait till next year to ask you that question. But one thing we've been able to glean over the course of the last few years, you better bring your A game every night because it's a very competitive league.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's one of the best leagues in the NEIA, and we're blessed in this state to have 2 really strong conferences in the NEIA with a number of teams in the CCAC and then, of course, the Crossroads League as well. So we're getting a number of those teams in our non-conference. So our non-conference schedule is tough as well. So it's going to be a tough schedule all the way around. We're hoping to make noise in the conference, and wherever we start this year, we want to grow from that and become a player in the conference over time.
Saints last year's with 13 wins. Hoping to improve on that with the 2019-2020 season. For Tom Robbins, I'm Paul Condry. Thanks for joining us here from Notre Dame, Indiana at Holy Cross